I love Chesapeake.
Yeah.
Of course, I grew up here, and when I guess I was married, first married, we moved to the city. My husband and I moved to the city, and I really didn't like it very much. I lived in an apartment 4 floors up, and I felt like a caged bird, so we moved to St. Margaret's Bay, and then from there we moved back to Chesapeake. A piece of property became available, and we bought it and built a home.
So for me, I guess my childhood was pretty well. We were isolated because we lived in Liverpool Slate, and there was no one around my age, you know. So when the weekends came, I was glad to get out. You know, I just had my brothers and sisters and mom and dad. So this is where I would come, because that was my aunt. This house right here where the cafe is now.
We really like it. I mean, you know, we work in the city, but when you come home, you're surrounded by wilderness, and so that's something we really enjoy. So
we were 6 in the family, plus mom and dad, and my father did logging and then cut the wood and then sold it to the people around here. You know, everybody had a wood stove. And my mother was a homemaker. You knew everyone. You met everyone at each corner of the road. You met more children. You all walked together, you know. So it was camaraderie like that, you know. And there were shortcuts that cut through when you were running late, you know, through the different fields, and people didn't mind running through their property.
I really technically was an Anglophone because my dad is an Anglophone. My mom is a Francophone or Acadian. And so, but I was in that class, and so I learned French as a Francophone through that program that we had. And really what it gave to me was, I guess, a real desire to explore my French heritage, and a real desire to perfect my French, and so I've become basically a lifelong learner in the French language. I did go to Dalhousie to take my undergrad and my education degrees, but later on I did a master's level program at Université Saint-Anne, and I did some summer school in Quebec, and made sure that my children were in immersion because there was no Carrefour when my children were young. So yes, I've always had a very strong affinity to my French heritage.
And when I remember my grandfather saying that when he met my grandmother, he was a Parabo, she was a Paraho, and the guys from Paraho used to chase him, Paraba, get away. Go home, leave our girls alone.
There was always a butcher in the place, and he always came on Friday. So we bought your meat on Friday. Sunday was a big meal. Then the rest of the week was the leftovers. You know, because you had no place to keep the meat before the French came, right? You know, yeah.
Wintertime was skating, and children went out when their chores were done, and they were free. There was no, oh my gosh, where are you going, what you doing? Like, we'd go in the harbor used to freeze up then, and you'd skate, but you always had to be home for supper.
In the winter, we had so much ice. The guys used to come up from Grand Desert. They used to come up with their oxen.
Oh yeah.
And we used to listen, you know, we almost knew
By the bells.
by the sound of the bells who was coming, because there was probably 4 or 5 that used to come our way, and they'd always stop in home. Mom always had a cup of tea for them, even though we didn't have a whole lot. She always had a cup of tea for them, and they'd go on their way and cut their logs or whatever it was, their wood, you know. And on the way back, they'd stop in again But yeah, we used to listen for those bells. I'll tell you, you almost knew who was coming.
Oh yeah, when I grew up, everything was in French. My parents, grandparents, everything, and it was coming to the time where, all the conversations were in French, but when they spoke to the kids, they spoke to us in English.
Well, we have a parish here that's had an annual picnic every year for the last 87 years. So that's something that happens more or less the first weekend in July every year. So, and it takes dozens, probably hundreds of people, volunteers to put it together. So, but yeah, and it's changed over time, but it is an activity that continues to happen.
My favorite thing, I suppose, is the people. Without the people, places don't really have the same significance. It's always I guess I'm a person who likes to form relationships with other people, and I find that this place here is my favorite place. Other than because that's where I suppose I find the people who have the greatest connection to their Acadian roots.
Favorite part about the community is probably families getting together.
It's my home is my favorite. No matter where I go, I'm always so happy to come back home. I do enjoy coming when I'm coming home from the city or something, and I'm coming over a rise and the view of the Chesuncook Harbor and the village in front of me. That it's always very peaceful. It's a beautiful place to be,
Lots of wildlife. We've had bear, cubs in the front yard eating strawberries.
Wild strawberries.
Yeah. But yeah, we've had quite a bit of wildlife.
And living in a small community like this, I would say you know people. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it's changing and there are more people coming all the time into the community. It's getting more developed, but mostly you know a lot of the families. And so you get that feel when you do things within the community, whether it's at the church or a community center or whatever it is.
Come down just over the hill, just maybe up a mile or a mile and a half up the road, and you come down and you can see the inlet and the mouth of the inlet way out to sea. I love that view.
They're still as helpful to one another in need, except you don't have the knock on the door and hi. You would have to call to see if you could make that visit. You know what I mean? And you just wouldn't feel as free, I don't think, running into a home, or a child would never, if I'm speaking of a child, you would never run in someone's home. I feel safe with my neighbors and freedom of the land, where I am.
I'm hoping that, and where they have a French school here now in the community, I'm hoping that some of the culture is going to come back.